Hi everyone, this is Melinda from MTZ Crew Designs. Welcome back to another tutorial from the Paint Couture creative team. Today I'll show you how I created this fun design on a Lazy Susan using Paint Couture's chalk style and luxe metallic paints, along with some metallic glaze, two-step crackle, and pouring resin. Okay, let's get started. So as you can see, this was created from a round wooden board that I picked up at a craft store, and I used an old plastic Lazy Susan similar to something like this that I had just laying around, and I just adhered it underneath the round board. And up until now, this has just been functioning as a Lazy Susan for painting small crafts, but now I'm going to give it an upgrade to be used as home decor. Since I've been using this to paint on, there are some imperfections that I want to clear up first. So I'm going to start out by giving it a scuff sand with an 80 grit sanding pad for a smooth surface, and then I'm just going to dust it off. Next, I'm painting a coat of Simply White from Paint Couture's chalk style line. I'm using a decoupage paper next, so I want the surface to be as bright as possible to showcase the true colors in the decoupage paper. The paper I'm using is called Mechanics. It's from Roycycled, and it has some really cool graphics that have a vintage feel, but I'm going to cut it to size so that I can reuse some of this paper for another project. Now I'm going to use the Satin Topcoat to adhere the paper onto the board. I'm starting off on one side, and I'm going to put a thin layer of top coat down, and once I have the paper placed where I want it, I'll be using a silicone tool and a ball of plastic wrap to help push out any air bubbles. Then I'll work my way around to the other side of the board. After I've got the air bubbles pushed out, then I'll put another thin layer of top coat down on top and let that dry. Now, in the interest of time and recording this video, I decided to speed up the drying process by using my heat gun. You can also use a blow dryer for this process, or you can just let it air dry. Once it is completely dry, then I'll use the same 80 grit sanding paper to sand the excess paper off of the board. Be careful to sand down and away from the wood when you do this though. Next, I'll be using this transfer from Redesign with Prima. It's called Vintage Drain, and I'm going to apply them on one side of the board here. Just kind of sporadically placed. No real rhyme or reason, just wanted it to look like an accent on one side. I'm also using this butterfly stencil to add additional effects. I'm using Paint Couture's Antique Gold from the Luxe Metallic line. This is my absolute favorite gold metallic paint. It's so bright and highly pigmented, so you don't need a whole lot. So I'm just dry brushing it onto the stencil. It's actually really pretty. And this is what it looks like when we pull back the stencil, and you can see kind of the sheen that the metallic paint adds. Now I'm going to highlight the trim of the board with another Paint Couture metallic luxe paint, and this is called Slate Blue. So next I'm going to start with the two-step crackle process. I'm adding a thin coat of step 1 because I just want to have faint and subtle cracks. If you want to have larger cracks, you would just add a thicker coat or a second coat of step 1. But if you do a second coat of step 1, just be sure to allow it to dry in between coats. And then you want to make sure that you allow step 1 time to dry up to a tacky state. So I let this sit for about 30 minutes before I added step 2. And when you have your step 2 layer down, you'll start to see the cracks form within a few minutes. Now, I waited about 4 to 5 hours for this crackle to dry, and then I started adding glaze to the entire board to enhance the look of the design. I started with gold brocade, which is such a pretty metallic color, and then I wiped back very little. You can wipe back as much as you want, but I happen to love the color of the glaze throughout the board, so that's why I left some of it on there. And then I decided I wanted to add more drama to this, so I went in with Copperhead metallic, which is also really pretty. And now I'm dry brushing bronze luxe metallic paint to the edge of the board just to give it an aged look. And I'm just dry brushing it on the top of the board, not on the edge. So I've let the glaze dry completely overnight, and now I want to add pouring resin to seal my project. I love the glossy sheen of pouring resin, and it just takes the design to a new level. Make sure that you don't shake it, just stir it very well. And then I like to pour this from the center and then lift up my project and turn it in various directions to get the resin to spread out evenly. And then I do let each layer dry for about 24 hours, and the result is amazing. And that wraps it up for today. Again, I'm Melinda from MTZ Crew Designs. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. And if I've inspired you to create with any of Paint Couture's products, please feel free to use my affiliate link that will be located down below, along with a full list of all the products that I used today. Or you can scan this QR code and it will take you directly to the website. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of the amazing content that our Paint Couture creative team is putting together for you. Have an awesome day. Thanks. Bye.